Yo, what it do? What it do? It's me. It's me. It's that rustling dude. I'm here with the dopest ginger you'll ever meet. Old Ginger Spice. What's up, homie?
Buenas, mi gente. I'm your co-host with the most, the embodiment of Technicolor, Ginger Spice, and we got another banger fun interview tonight.
And we are coming here with the man himself, El Tigre del Caribe, the Caribbean Tiger, man. Welcome, welcome.
Gracias, gracias, gracias. I appreciate the opportunity, my man. Hey,
Absolutely, absolutely.
I'll go back to you, man. I see y'all killing it over there, man.
Hey, try, man. So let's get right into it, man. Who trained you? How long you been doing this? And what got you to the biz?
Man, who trained me? Everybody trained me the way I see it. But my main trainer is Eddie McCoy, also known as Nice Stick Eddie Brown. He was trained by Steve Corino. He was part of the ECW dark matches back in the 80s, 90s, or whatnot. My first trainer was actually Killer Tim Brooks down in Dallas. Unfortunately, he passed. After that, I went down to Lampasas, uh, met with a guy that went by Rick Steele. And then I was self-trained for many years, and then I met Nice to Get It Brown in 2018. So, yeah. But my main coach right now, I call is Eddie McCoy, Nice to Get It Brown.
Okay. Where you based out of? So if people know.
Well, now in North Carolina, that's where I'm located now. I'm located in North Carolina, down in Fayetteville, and I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it.
All right, man. How what got you into the business?
Everybody, man. I always remember I always tell the story of the summer of 1989, man. My parents were going through all kinds of crap, and then my uncle knew about it. So what he does, he invite me over to his, hey, man, come on over here. I want you to watch this wrestling show that I've been watching for years or whatnot. I go in there, man, and I see Honky Talk Man has this opening invitation to anybody. Ultimate Warrior music hits in, crowd goes wild, dude. All my problems were gone in that 1 minute match. You know, I was so focused and so into that match that I was like, wow, dude, I want to do that at one point in my life. And then that was it, man. Back in 2008, I found out that I can actually train for this. I'm like, man, I was hooked after that.
No, that's
I
awesome, man.
love that you remember your first match watching it on TV. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? How old were you?
man, in 1989, I was 9 years old. Nine
And you
years
just
old.
remember it like if it was yesterday, seeing that
Dude,
first match.
it
That's
was
awesome. You know
it
what I
changed
mean?
my life. Yes, sir.
It's
That's
like
what
me
people
looking
always
at my first comic book. I still have it. You know what I mean?
There you go.
yeah, that's
That's
people always say that they bring up that first match, man. And I wish I could have that exact moment. Where I was like, yeah, I love this, but like it just everything just snowballed when I was a kid and made me fall in love and all that stuff.
hey, man.
So when you first broke in, who'd you emulate? Who'd you try to be like?
I have no idea, man. I was so lost. I was just so excited about doing it. But I did, of course. I always like the Ultimate Warrior. I like the Rockers. I like all those flamboyant guys like Ric Flair, whatnot. So when I started, I literally was wearing in underwear. And then I made up some tattoos out of some wrist wrap, and I put some tattoos around. It was just wild, crazy. But of course, with the time, I evolved and I still added the fringe. I still had the tattoos and whatnot. But I always look up to them, man. Back when I started, I look up to Ultimate Warrior. I look at the Rocker, Shawn Michaels. Ric Flair. I like the flamboyancy. I like the showmanship and whatnot. As I stay in the business, then the style change. I look more into like Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle, William Regal. I like a little bit more Dean Malenko. I still use the flair and flamboyancy of the old guys or whatnot that I mentioned, but now the technicality is what attracts me. The intensity of the match, that's what gets me.
Okay, who'd you break in as? I mean, you were the Caribbean Tiger, right? Well, who were you before that?
Always, always
Oh
the
wait, since
Caribbean
day
time.
one.
This day one, my man. It was the crazy thing about it is like they asked me, say, hey, who you what name we gonna use for you? And I was like, I don't know, man. I mean, everybody knew me as Tiger already because my first tattoo, I had a tiger on my shoulder. So I was either going to be Chino because of my eyes, or people call me Tiger because they remember the tiger. Nobody remember Caleb. So I was like, man, I just started telling people, just call me Tiger, man. I don't want to be called Chino. So called me Tiger, and then, man, he got stuck. As a biker, I was Tiger. So he came down to Tiger, man. And I said, well, let me add something. I'm from Puerto Rico. So Caribbean Tiger, let's go.
There you
And
go.
you never wore a mask? A
No,
name
man.
like
Well, I
that
did
deserves a mask.
in one show. I wore a mask, and it was I was working with NWA 360 down in Texas. This is back in probably like 2010, 2011. Um, I came back to Texas. I was stationed in Hawaii for a while, and they had me put a mask so nobody would recognize me. I was wearing like a full Taekwondo outfit, covered completely. I was like Karate Joe for the match. I ended up winning the championship, the NWA Central Texas championship, and then I take the mask off at the end. People go nuts and whatnot. So it was fun.
Hey.
Yeah.
So I noticed that you said you were stationed in Hawaii and you had said Fayetteville and stuff like that. So you're in the army too?
I'm retired, man. I'm retired.
You're retired too?
Yeah,
What was your MOS?
68 Golf, patient administration specialist.
Patient administration specialist. Okay, very cool. So that's more like uh paperwork type stuff, right?
Oh, but yeah, but you're right. It's everything that has to do with administration in a hospital for regulating medical records, coordinating medical evacuations and inpatient, outpatient records, admission, disposition of a hospital, whatnot. Everything has to do with that. You say MOS. I mean, how do you know about MOSs?
I was in the infantry up in 10th Mountain.
11 Bravo.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, not a Charlie, you know what I mean? Those guys are different.
There you go.
Light infantry, you know what I mean? The last light infantry. So that's how you know his brother from that.
Yes. There you go. Yeah.
From paperwork, from pushing papers. Well, thank you for your service too, man, because it is important. You know what I mean? As someone that's been through the medical process of getting out, it ain't easy. And a lot of it, you guys get the shit on because the paperwork and bureaucracy all comes onto you guys. So I know that's who I complain to the most, are you guys. So,
The thing that because I was working in patient admin, I went out through the medical process. I ended up getting the retirement. So it was a good thing knowing about the process because, man, I can see the headaches that a lot of
man.
people trying to get out. Yeah.
Yeah, like mine was easy, but
It's like, get out, peace out.
Yeah. So cool. Go ahead, Wisa.
Yeah, appreciate it again. Thank you for the service, man. People that don't know and never seen the Caribbean Tiger, what's your ring style like?
Like I said, man, I'm very aggressive. I like to be aggressive. You know, I always give the students the analogy of a tiger. You know, a tiger is a one-man gang. You know, you never see a tiger with a bunch of tigers behind them or whatnot. So it's an approach of being aggressive, but also at the same time being a predator. And if you look at the approach of Randy Orton, it's meticulous like a viper. A tiger, you know, is trying to once it get the prey, it's going to be on top of you. You know, so in comparison to people and not animals, right? I will say Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle, William Regal. Those guys that are on top of you, and once they got you, they're not going to let you go. And I like to tell stories. I'm the kind of guy that I like for you to get into the match and involved as a fan. I'm not the kind of guy I'm going to go in there. I'm going to do 37 flip flops and running around and 720s or whatnot. Now, I'm going to give you a match. I'm going to show you that I want to win from the beginning. And that's my approach to my matches, man. I try to be as aggressive as I can.
Okay.
Are you teaching?
Yeah.
You said that when you teach.
Yeah, I've been coaching since, I will say probably 2019. 2019, I started with Eddie McCoy, and then he saw that I have years of experience and whatnot. So once he got me trained up, he's like, "Hey man, do you want to help me out with this kid too?" I was like, "Of course." So I help him out with different things. Of course, being working very much on basics, making sure that those little details are get there, psychology, and also I like to bring the lucha style Mexican wrestling and
That's
so
cool.
that they get both the good of both worlds. You know, they get the American wrestling and they get the Mexican lucha.
So can you plug where you're training so that the local wannabe future wrestlers in your area know where they can go?
Of course, so it's located in Hope Mills Road and down in at the gym True Fit, and it's called Ring Wars Carolina. If you find us on there on social media. You can go Ring Wars Carolina on Facebook, on Instagram, and we also have a YouTube channel. All you gotta do is send us a message right there. Tell me that you're interested, and we got you through the process.
So coming from a coach, what's the best piece of advice you'd give somebody? Like if you could only given one piece of advice, what would it be?
Yeah, a young man, you know, a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid.
This is not a joke. This is something that you have to be 100% committed. If you don't give 100%, we're talking about diet, we're talking about workouts, we're talking about not missing practice, we're talking about like doing everything that you can in your power to give this 100%. If you treat the wrestling world as a hobby, that's all it's going to be to you. It's going to be a hobby. If you treat it as a business, if you treat it as a passion, you give your 8 hours a day to it, then that your chances to make it all the way up to WWE are higher. So unfortunately, I'm 44 and I started too late. But if I wouldn't be able to tell myself back then, hey man, all you gotta do is go full on force on this, the chances would have been extremely higher.
Be
Is
part of
that
the LWO, baby.
what's the best piece of advice someone is giving you then? Say along the same lines or?
Man, it's just I got advice from every single person. I got advice from Tom Pritchard. I got advice from Eddie McCoy, from Ricky Morton, from Earl Hebner. There's so many people that have approached me and told me, hey man, all you got to do is X, Y, Z. And unfortunately, injuries happen. Serving in the military didn't help. For the fact that exactly I only had like my weekends to work. And when you don't give to this business 100%, it's just not going to give it back. It's that simple.
Yeah.
The wrestling doesn't owe you anything. You got to owe everything to wrestling. There's many guys out there that, I mean, they're in the thousands that are giving 100% to this. And even when you go into the higher echelons, they're giving 100% too. So you got to outwork every single person that's already there. So the best advice I was given, just work on your psychology, give 100%, do the best you can to take this as serious as you can.
What about what's the worst piece of advice? Looking back now, you're like, damn, I shouldn't have listened to that guy at all.
Man, I don't want to say names because I'm not the kind of guy to throw people under the bus. But this guy is known for giving seminars around. He worked in one of the main companies, not in WWE or AEW, but he worked in one of these other bigger companies. I'm not gonna say it because you're gonna break it down.
Yep.
I went to a seminar with this guy, and this is a 2-hour seminar, which I'm already skeptic about it. And he talked like all about the story that he did while he was traveling from left and right. That was it. Like how to rent a car, the inside jokes that they had. And I'm like, I'm paying money for this guy tell me road story. Like, what am I doing here? So, and this guy gets paid to this. This guy goes around to give seminars about this, and that's all I got, man. And at the end, probably in the last 15 minutes of the seminar, okay, let me show you how to take a hip toss, or let me show you how to take a body slam. It's like, you kidding me, right?
Yeah.
This is what we're doing? Like, okay. So, worst piece of advice was not telling me nothing, wasting time. And one of the things that I will say to people that go to seminars, check their people's background, check how far they gone. And if it's 2 hours, it's probably a money grab. I like to seminars. I listen to Rudy Boy Gonzalez. He is the owner of TWA down in Texas. Shawn Michaels handed him the key of the Shawn Michaels Academy back then. Now it's TWA. And this guy say if this seminar doesn't last at least 4 hours or a weekend, it's a money grab. Don't waste your time because there's not much I can teach you about wrestling in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So that's one of the greatest advice that I will give to people that he gave me. And man, I'm telling you, I learned from that.
All right. You said you wrestled in what, Texas? I'm assuming Hawaii. What's the farthest you've wrestled at?
Oklahoma, South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Virginia, West Virginia, up in Ohio. I've been in many different states, and I'm the kind of guy I like quality over quantity. I'm not going to be in your next backyard show, but you got I always trying to find a show that is legit. You know, I've done many shows in the backyard. I started those.
But
But
let
then
me
yeah.
let me ask you about that. You know what I mean? A lot of now that I've been really getting into this indie wrestling, and you see these really hardcore matches in these backyards. As someone that's been around, what are you thinking of these guys that are just doing this for a burnt hot dog and that's it?
Oh man, the hot dog and the handshakes. Yes.
They don't even get a handshake. They get a fist nowadays. These promoters don't even got a respect for the straight handshake, man.
Buy the old bun. You just eat the hot dog. Yeah, man. I go back into. I love when wrestling was very, very hidden. You know, when it was an underground thing, when it was something that not everybody knew how to get into it, right? What happened with this is like a lot of guys that don't belong in the business, when they get rejected from the bigger companies or the bigger training centers or whatnot, they go on their own and they start doing their own thing. But they don't understand that they never finish graduation or they never finish their training, and now they're teaching the wrong thing that they think they know to these other people. And now when you go to shows, I mean, as a booker, as an owner of the company, you go, okay, do I book Tiger for a 3-figure or do I book this guy for free? I'd rather get the guy for free, you know, and that's what happens to a lot of bookers. They don't want the quality, they want the quantity, and they want to save as much money as they can. And I'm not saying that big bookers don't try to do the same thing, but if you see shows like AML, they're not afraid of getting good talent. They're not afraid, you know, when they do WrestleCade, they bring Kurt Angle and Kane and Mark Henry, and they bring the big names into it, you know, and the guys that are still legit out there, and the guys that are retired, and they put a good show, and they grab the best of the best when it comes to wrestlers. You know what I'm saying? They're not afraid to just be okay with paying, but because the product that they're going to provide is going to be great. Bro, these backyarders, man, all they're doing is hurting people left and right. You see it all over YouTube and Instagram.
And these companies are never going to take that serious, right? Like, I don't see how they could. You
They
know, I
won't.
just recently I follow this guy, the North Korean assassin, and I would love to get him on this. But he like lit himself on fire this past. Somebody lit him on fire for the show. You know what I mean? And they let him burn for a little bit. And I'm just like, ¿pa qué? ¿Pa qué? I don't get it, man.
Público.
Yeah.
Mami,
It's just like, you know, for the likes, is that what it's come down to for the likes on the socials? These people with the light poles and everything. I don't know, man. God bless them.
People trying to sacrifice so much for just getting followers, and unfortunately, what they do, they put a bad name to wrestling. You know, people that look at wrestling and say, "Oh, these all choreographed, these all fake, these all BS or whatnot." They look at that and they're like, "Yeah, you see, I told you it's BS. I told you it's crap. I told you."
But that's true because it did go away for a while. In the 90s, the backyard wrestling was huge and it kind of disappeared, but now it's making a comeback. And I don't get it, man. I don't know, man. I ain't trying to ruin this pretty face. I ain't never doing it.
Supposed to protect it no matter what, you know?
Yeah.
You mess up everything else, but you keep the shine. That's all you gotta do. At the same time, you gotta get good training and protect your body, know how to land and all the other stuff. Do the right thing, man. You gotta look at anyway. There's so much, man. I would about for like 7 hours over here if we go down.
Yeah, right. Thank you.
So you've been all over. What's been the craziest crowd you've been in front of? What state? What city?
I was in Texas. There's probably over 1,500 people in one stadium, and it was beautiful, man. It was so beautiful. The energy of the crowd, you know how is when you really get to understand the dominant effect. You know, I do get a dominant effect in shows with 40, 50, 100 people, whatnot, and maybe 200-300. But when you got 1,000 people, man, watching, you know they're there because they love to watch.
Yeah.
They're not just there because they just so happen to pass by this saw sign and they walk in. You know, they just got handed a flyer. When you get over 1,000 people in an arena, they love that, and they coming over here to see what's going on, man. And he was one of the simplest matches I ever had in my life, man. And the dominant effect, the ripple effect, it was so such a beautiful thing, man. Every single move that I did, it meant something. And, and the goosebumps that you get for the reaction of a hip toss, of a clothesline. It was insane, man. So, yeah, it was in Texas. I can't remember the name of the show. I think it was Warriors for Christ Wrestling. They did it was showing down in San Antonio, and
Okay.
oh my god, it was such a beautiful thing.
What's dream opponent of yours, living or dead?
My dream opponent,
Yep.
Shawn Michaels, Chris Benoit, William Regal, the same guys that I look up to. Ric Flair. It just every time you wrestle somebody that knows what they're doing, man, the outcome is beautiful. And that's one of the things I love about wrestling. Sometimes, unfortunately, you get your green guys that they don't know what they're doing, but they listen well. So you get a good, decent match, or you try to make it a good, decent match as best you can, being the vet in between the two.
Mm-hmm.
But to wrestle somebody that has more knowledge than me, every time that I get the opportunity, I take it, man. And wrestling against any of those guys would have been amazing for me.
All right.
Have you been doing this full time since you got out?
Unfortunately, no, man. I tried in 2020. I'll tell you, I got out in 2016. No, 2017. In 2018, I found Ring Wars Carolina. I gave full force to it. Started getting seen by Tom Pritchard. Started getting seen by Ricky Morton. Earl Hebner came to see me, and they started talking to Brian Hebner when Brian Hebner was with NWA before the scandal. Then, of course, as I'm coming up in 18, 19, here comes 2020. Now we have got COVID hits, so everything slows down, and I'm like, I'm sending my resume to the Performance Center. I'm excited. I'm like, let's go. After 2020 fades down, probably halfway of 2021, I'm trying to get back into the rhythm of things. I turn my meniscus. I try to that, and then I tear up my shoulder. In 2022, I was getting back into the rhythm of things. And in October in Charlotte, I wrestled this guy. Not gonna say the name again. I go for third rope, head scissors take over. I jump on the shoulder, third rope. As I flip backwards, supposed to hold my thighs. So he goes with me. He never held my thighs. So I
Ay,
went
diablo.
flat
Coño.
into the ground. So I went from the head, shoulder. So that took me out for 2023. And I just got back into it again. I would say probably this past November, December.
Well, thank you for what you do for our entertainment. You know what I mean? We haven't seen you live. I was watching some of your matches on your YouTube page. But man, like, thank you, man, because I'm never doing that ever.
Try, man. I try, man. I love it. I just love it, man. It's a passion.
That's the thing. You really just have to love it.
Yeah, I do. I love entertaining, man. It's one of the things like I said, I remember that summer '89, man. And I was like, man, I wanted that feeling. I want to give that feeling to fans. The forget that you are there for 2-3 hour show, whatever. And if I'm there for like 15 minutes, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever the promoter tells me, I'm gonna make you forget life for that brief moment, and I'm gonna get you so invested in this match. And that's my inspiration. So every time I go out that curtain, man, all I'm thinking is that. All I'm thinking is like, I'm about to give you all an experience that you never had. I'm gonna get you so caught up in this match that it's not gonna require me to do a 450 splash or none of that. That you're gonna be like, man, I want to do this. I want to come to the next show, and that's my project over there. That's what I do.
I mean, there's like no high like that, right? Being in front of that crowd.
No, man, that's none. That's none. I've been in shows that have, like I said, 1,500 people, and I've been in show with 4 people, man. And I'm going to give you the same quality of match, no matter what. It's not my fault what the promoter does or the people do in the company that they go one night. I know what I got paid for, and it was to entertain whoever shows up. And man, I just do it without turning myself on fire.
Yeah, there's no need for that. What's been your biggest moment or your favorite moment in your career so far?
Wow. Biggest moment, it was when Tom Pritchard pulled me out in a show. He said, "What are you doing here? You're higher than this." Don't preacher telling me that is a big. It was a big deal for me. It was something to let me know that I know what I'm doing. That whatever I'm doing it right. You know, I had a match in front of Earl Hebner, and after the match was over, he came to me and said, "Man, that's one of the greatest match I ever seen. Man, this is the guy that been refereeing Bret Hart versus Shawn Michaels, Ultimate Warrior versus Hulk Hogan. You know, with the biggest matches you can think of back in the 90s. Earl Hebner was there. And for him to come to me without me going to him and say, hey, man, that's one of the best matches I ever seen. Dude, my mind was blown. I was like, holy crap, shit. Like, I'm doing something right, you know?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you know, with the ups, comes, and downs, and you're like, so where am I going from here? You know, who do I need to talk to, you know? So,
yeah.
Anyway, but yeah, man, those were two of the moments that I can always remember. And I was like, man, this is something, I'm doing something right.
Have you made any connections to go to Puerto Rico and wrestle at any shows there?
Did, and it was right before COVID hit. I got in touch with Savio Vega, and he was going to tell me, I think it was WWC or
IWA.
IWA. He was going to send him my stuff, and I tell him, hey, man, the next time you come down to Puerto Rico, hit me up, and let's get you in. I was excited. COVID hits. It was pretty exciting. I love COVID. It was great.
Good times. Yeah, you know.
Great timing, man. Great timing.
What about most embarrassing moment? You had the most embarrassing moment in the ring so far? You like shit yourself or anything?
No, thanks not. No. I about it every time, man. Since I hear the stories about Stone Cold and John Cena and things like that, man, I'm like, I will make sure that today I don't eat until the match is over. And if I eat, it got to be like bread, or it has to be something that I'll make sure that it doesn't eat well. Coffee would not happen that morning. And I've been drinking coffee since I was like 9 years old. So,
Como un bien boricua.
Man, anything that mess up a Puerto Rican stomach, I like, nah, not doing it. But embarrassing moments that I can think of, man, nothing comes to mind. I don't think I've been in a match, seeing a guy getting out of the ring, going under the ring, throwing up, going back in the ring and trying to look up. We're missing no, bro. We ain't doing this. Like, we're like this and trying to man. We ain't doing all that.
So remember that this man is a soldier, you know what I mean? That he's a professional in and out of uniform. So you're never gonna catch a soldier embarrassed.
Yeah, but my secrets, no, man.
What about crazy?
Boricua.
Yeah.
What about any crazy fan interactions?
Bro. Well, the one of the most recent ones, it was not, I won't say crazy, but people will see as crazy. And my wife, when she saw it online, she was like, hey, what just happened here? You know, I'm in Tennessee. I went to the School of Morton for a show. This is about a year or two ago when I can't remember. Probably 2 years ago. Yeah, back in probably 2021. I go over there and the fans are excited and whatnot. I'm a baby face at that moment. And I'm giving high fives, you know, kissing babies, giving hugs and whatnot. And this old lady, probably like in her 70s, dude, I walked by her and she smacked the shit out of my ass. I just turned around and was like, hey.
But it was a viejita, right?
Oh, she was. No, man, you hear that? I ain't hearing it.
No, I'm just saying. Like, with the viejita, she could get away with that. Abuelitas can always get away with that. You know what I mean?
I thought you were saying like you hit that.
No.
Well, you, I ain't doing no ginger stuff.
No, Jesus. I'm saying, you know what I mean? She's a little old lady. Old little ladies can get away with murder.
Get away with stuff like that. If we arrest this guy, get him out. But she away with stuff, man. And yeah, she did that. That's the last thing I can remember. Like one of the things I remember in the show. Yeah, that was fun. That was a fun time. Anyway, she had a blast. She was excited, and then she wanted to hug at the end of the show. I was like, I don't know if I can trust your hands now.
Well, at least now you know you got a job as a gigolo if you're, for viejitas when this is done.
I have my gimme going on.
All right, so let's get into business then. Saturday, July 6th, Ring Wars Carolina is still standing. You're in the semifinals of the tournament to crown RWC's new heavyweight champion. Three-way dance. You, Chosen One, James Lee, and Roman McIntyre. What can the fans expect out of the Tiger going into this match?
Man, James Lee, he just started the business within this year. He won he had an opportunity to try to be to live the dream. Ring Wars Carolina was running a project that started, I think it was like October, November last year, and it was to give the dream to somebody who want to be a professional wrestler, and then he ended up taking them all the way down here to the stadium in Fayetteville to perform the first show ever. And man, the guy has energy. The guy is very passionate. James Lee is, he calls himself the chosen one. I'm like, all right, Neo, get your stuff together, whatever you think. They got in the ring. They're already excited. I'm gonna be the champion. Slow down your horses. He's been cutting some good promos or whatnot and trying to be all serious about me. But the thing that they don't know is experience always goes over everything else. I'll make sure that I do my best to stay away from whatever pins that he got, to stay away from whatever attacks that he got. But I'm focused, man. I really want an opportunity for the RWC Heavyweight Championship, so I'm gonna try my best to do what a Tiger does best. I never underestimate my opponent, and I have a feeling that he's underestimating me. He kind of forgetting that I've been doing this for over 15 years, and I haven't even done it for a year, and he's already calling himself the chosen one. So I'm probably gonna work on shrinking his ego and give him a good wake-up call. When he comes to Roman McIntyre, he's on the other side of the semifinals. The guy's good. The guy's good. I mean, he's a MAGA champion, which is a shooting. Actually, is just like MMA, except for strikes. It's more based on grappling. You can do like palm open hands and whatnot. And he's actually a champion, so he's a good fighter. But again, so am I. Done boxing. I'm a second-degree black belt in Taekwondo. If you've been in the military, I'm a second level certified combatives. So you can try to bring all your tricks and dirty stuff, but I got some Puerto Rican in me, and I might
Hey, dale!
Yeah, come on. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
We'll see what he brings to the table. I know he's great. I know he thinks he's a chosen one, and he has shown that he can wrestle. But he hasn't wrestled me yet. So we'll see.
There you go. And I just saw James Lee cut a promo on you a couple weeks ago, saying you're part of a bygone era, pretty much writing you off like your career's already over with. There's comments like from the younger guys like that bother you, or just more fuel to the fire?
I mean, I'm 44. Ricky Morton is in his 70s, so I think I'm halfway there. I got a lot of the tag, man. I'm just getting better. I just came back from recovery. I'm just 100% now. I'm hitting the gym again. I'm working again. I'm going into training, and I'm working every single one of them. So to tell me that I'm in my last ones, oh man, you don't understand passion until you see passion. And when I said earlier that I love this, but that's exactly what I mean. I love it and I take it serious. And the time that I couldn't give it while I was in the Army, I'm giving it now. And ain't nobody hasn't been outworking me, man. When it comes to that ring, when it comes to Ring Wars Carolina, ain't nobody outworking me right now. I'll guarantee you that.
What's rest of 2024 looking like for the Tiger?
I'm looking into winning this tournament. Once I finish this tournament, I'll be facing Sander Keys again. I faced him once and I came up short. Unfortunately, he pulled all kinds of tools under the ring and hit me with a flag poles. He hit me with a bell. He did everything that he could to take me out, and unfortunately, he did at the end. But he didn't walk out of there. He dragged himself out of there as a winner. So I'm gonna come a little bit stronger when it comes to that. So I'm looking forward to trying to be the next RWC heavyweight champion. And when he comes, I'm looking into companies outside North Carolina already, looking into Virginia, MATW, and great company, filling up over 300 seats every single time. And I'm trying to just, like I said, quality over quantity. I have an opportunity now that I'm going to be going down to WWC in Florida. So I'll be heading that way sometime in the fall. So there's a lot of things coming down, and you're gonna see if you follow me, you're gonna see on my Facebook, Instagram. There's a lot of shows that will be coming up, and I'm just trying to be as involved as I can, man, and just do shows that matter, not just any show. Shows that matter that are going to make a difference in my career.
Absolutely. Anyone you want to call out right now?
Not really, man. You know, I will. Yeah. So, Michael, you want to come back from retirement and do this crazy? Hey, Chris Benoit, do you mind just coming up or coming down?
Zombie mode.
If I want to call out somebody,
He's definitely coming up. Okay, hold on. You said come up or come down. Chris Benoit's definitely coming up. He ain't coming down.
I'm glad you caught it, man. I'm glad you caught it. Think about it. You cut me off. I see how it is. But yeah, if anybody want to call out, man, I want to call out NWA. I want to call out Impact. I want to call out TNA, which is Impact. I want to call Japan. I want to call WWE. Whatever biggest companies are out there. Hey, I'm here. I'm still pumping. I'm still kicking. You know,
and I want to call out Tio Savio Vega to get El Tigre in Puerto Rico so that we can all go and celebrate in Puerto Rico, baby.
Let's go, dale. Savio, right here.
He's right there.
Vamos, cuando diga, papi.
Dale.
All right, man. That's all I got for you. Tiger, anything you got for Mariano?
I'm good, man. I had a great time. Thank you for your service in the military, and thank you for putting your body and your neck on the line for our entertainment as a wrestler.
Every time, man. Thank you guys for the opportunity. I appreciate you, man.
Absolutely. Tiger, go ahead and get your shit out. Where can they find you? Get it all out. Plugs. Go ahead.
Caleb Caribbean Tiger Nieves Roman, or Caleb Nieves Roman on Facebook, Instagram. Follow me. I got my YouTube channel too. Ring Wars Carolina TV. All our shows are posted once a week, every Thursday around 7 p.m. Follow us. Give us a like. Give me a like. Give me a follow. Whatever you got to do. And Weasel and Ginger, I want to give you a thank you very much on the wrestling dude. I'll be watching you guys, and you guys got some top shelf, one of the top interviews and podcasts I ever done. So thank you for your professionalism. Thank you for everything that you've done. These guys do the homework. These guys know what they're doing. So give them the follow too. Give them the follow, click it. Turn on notification, whatever you got to do, man. These guys know what they're doing. Thank you, guys. Thank you for the opportunity. I appreciate you.
Thank you for being on. I have all your links at the bottom. Go ahead and Ginger, get your shit out.
I ain't got nothing, man. Like and subscribe. That's about it.
That wrestling dude, DOOD, you already know. Like and subscribe. Again, thank you, Caribbean Tiger. Go check him out. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
Hey, have a good one, man. Thank you.
Peace and love.